Hey y'all, welcome to Cash and Cocktails. Today we are going to be making one of my original creations. It is a French 75 meets Moscow Mule. It doesn't even really have a name, but it's delicious, so we're going to make it today. We got 5 ingredients today because we're going to be talking about credit mix. Your credit mix consists of 5 different categories, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But let's get into these ingredients so we can make this cocktail, okay? So first we have lemon juice, pure, fresh squeezed it myself, okay? Then we have Fever Tree ginger beer. There's all kinds of ginger beer. Fever Tree, number 1. Saint Germain liqueur, as you can see, it's only a swig left in this bottle because I love some Saint Germain, okay? Graywell gin, also my favorite gin. Delicious. They make it here in the US and California. All of the ingredients come from California. Super, super good gin. Way better than the British and Scottish stuff, okay? And then, okay, y'all, sorry about this. Simple syrup from the store. You guys, if y'all know me, you know I usually make my own simple syrup. I mean, it's sugar and water. No big deal. Okay, we're just going to use a little bit of this because we got fresh lemon. We don't want the whole thing to make your lips pucker up too much, okay? So, these are our 5 ingredients. Like I said, we got 5 ingredients today because we're going to be talking about the 5 different aspects to your credit score, okay? So real quick, let's get into this cocktail. You're going to need a shaker. If you don't have a shaker or Boston shakers or something like a shaker, you can just get 2 cups that fit one inside the other. As long as it's secure, you can shake with that, no big deal, okay? So you're going to need a shaker. This one I got from Total Wine. It's by a company called True. It's called a True Maraca. I like it because it has measurements on there and because it has little recipes for like your favorite drinks. Mai Tai, margarita, whatever you're into. So if you're just starting out or if you're just at home and you want to make a perfect drink, can't mess it up with one of these. So in your shaker, you're gonna start with your main liquor, which is our Graywell gin. We're gonna give it a 2-ounce pour. That's usually about 4 seconds. So let's go. Count it to 4, got it to 2 ounces. Next, we're gonna use our Saint Germain. Saint Germain, you only need a little bit. It's like, if you can see, it's thick, like almost syrupy. So, you know, it's almost like triple sec. If you put too much, you mess the whole thing up, okay? So we're gonna do maybe like a 1/2 ounce of this. Just like a quick bloop, real quick. Okay? Then with that, we're gonna add the lemon. Lemon's gonna be about 2 ounces as well, maybe like 2.5. You wanted it to basically balance the amount of liquor that you got in there, okay? All right. Finally, quick squeeze of simple syrup, maybe another 1/2 ounce or so. It's kind of up to you. I don't really like my drink super sweet. If you like your drink sweeter, then maybe a whole ounce-ish. I would say a 1/2 ounce is pretty safe. Or you could use like a fresh lemonade if you prefer, Simply Lemonade or like a Publix lemonade, maybe even. Something like that, not anything off the dry shelf, something that's still natural, but it's a good substitution. Just a quick shot of the simple to sweeten up that lemon. Then you want a quick handful of ice. Keep it chill. I guess that really wasn't a quick handful, but all right, gonna set it there real quick. Get your glass, whatever you're gonna drink out of, you know, Diz nerds. Gotta have the blinged out Disney glass. So your drink's nice and frosty when you pour it. All right. Now for the fun part. Make sure your top is on really good, or if you're using 2 cups, make sure they're sealed. Make sure your shaker is properly sealed so your drink doesn't go everywhere. All right. Pour it in your glass. I got big chunks of ice in here, so it's taking us a merry time. If you're using a regular shaker and a strainer, it'll pour much quicker. But I got pulp and ice going against this thing, so. Finally, gonna take your fever tree, just give it a nice top. If this were a French 75, the only difference is you top with champagne. All right, nice little garnish. I like to do my glass almost like you would do with an old fashioned. It just gives it like a really nice smell. All right, guys, we got our cocktail. We ready to roll. So check out this credit wheel. These are the 5 ingredients that make up your credit report. So just like we needed 5 ingredients to make this very delicious, and it is delicious drink, 5 different factors in your credit report. Now, check out this wheel. It's almost the same, right? You gotta have the right amount of gin, you gotta have the right amount of lemon juice, you gotta have the right amount of ginger beer, you gotta have the right amount of inquiries, you gotta have a mix of all of these things, okay? That is what creates the perfect credit cocktail, just like this one, okay? So what happens if you don't? And a lot of us don't. Mainly because most of us will avoid having credit because most of us were taught that that's what you're supposed to do. Not use credit cards, not get into debt, etc., etc. So if you don't have a credit card, which is your debt utilization portion, you can't have debt utilization if you don't have any debt to utilize. Debt utilization comes from either personal loans, which is considered regular cash flow, or credit cards. These are things that you put a payment on at least every 30 days. It reports to your credit every 30 days, and the credit revolves every 30 days. It's revolving credit. It's utilization of that revolving credit. So if you don't have revolving credit, it's just like having this drink without the alcohol. It's no longer a cocktail. If you don't have revolving credit, there's no possible way to have a good credit score. It's almost like if you go to a little bad dive bar or something and order, you might just tell them you want a London Mule, which is pretty much what this is. And they'll make one for you, but it's not going to probably be fresh lemon juice. It's going to be the stuff in the green bottle. It's going to be probably a less expensive gin, maybe a Seagram's gin or something like that. Probably not ginger beer. They'll probably just top it off with club soda. So you're going to get a similar drink. You're going to get a credit score, but it isn't going to be a great credit score or an excellent credit score because you didn't use the great ingredients or the excellent ingredients, okay? So the biggest factor in your credit is your debt utilization. It's numero uno, okay, guys? It's like having the drink without the liquor, okay? So all of you guys who paying off, you paid your student loans off, that's great. You got a car, you paid cash, that's awesome. You know, you don't have anything bad on your credit, but you still have like a 400 or 500 something score and you can't understand why. This is the reason why, because your cocktail has no liquor, okay? Second thing is going to be your payment history. Again, they're kind of hand in hand with the exception of an auto loan or a mortgage loan or a couple of other things. But generally, your payment history is going to go hand in hand with your utilization. Because if you're using a card, if you're using these loans, etc., then you have a payment history. If you don't have anything to pay on, you don't have a payment history. Let's say you had a bad payment history before. You got a car. The loan was for 5 years. That's 60 months. So that's 60 payments. You only made 30 of those payments on time. So that means your payment history is at a 50%. And it's failing. But you paid the car off. You own the car now. You don't have any more debt. But you're not paying on anything else. So your payment history is still a 50%. Now, if you had 2 or 3 credit cards, maybe you bought another car, maybe you bought a house, you got some other things going on in your credit, and all of those things require a monthly payment, now you have something to bring up that 50% average. Just like when you were in school, you get one bad grade, you got to get other good grades to bring that one up. So you got to bring up that bad average, or wait 7 years for it to fall off, or longer in some cases. But generally what you want to do is have a good credit mix so that you have the ability to average those bad things out with the good things, okay? Payment history, revolving credit, or debt utilization, same thing. They go hand in hand, okay, guys? That's 65 to almost 70% of your score are those two things. So if you don't have anything to pay on monthly, there's no possible way to have a fair, good, great, or excellent score. You're going to be considered bad or poor regardless, because you don't have anything to show and prove that you know how to operate your credit, or that you even have credit to operate with. Other next two things are smaller things. Of course, you can see you got inquiries. You don't want to have a lot of inquiries. Of course not. There's really no reason to, especially nowadays. A lot of people just do soft pulls. So you don't want to have a lot of inquiries. If you want a car shop, go on Vroom or Carvana or somebody like that. You don't have to buy from them, but you can shop your financing that way, instead of going to the dealership and letting them run your credit 50 gajillion times to get you the financing that you want, okay? So the inquiry thing, not as big of a deal. We're going to call that the Saint Germain of this drink. It does make it can and does make a difference in the score. But if we didn't have the Saint Germain, we could still have a cocktail. This would basically be a Tom Collins at that point. A gin Collins. It's going to be just gin, lemon, a little sweetener. That's a cocktail. We can still drink it. It still works. It's just not all the ingredients to what we're making right now. So I hate to use the word optional, but it's less of a big deal. So if you're one of those type of people who are always freaking out, like, I don't want any inquiries on my credit, but you're not doing anything to improve your score, like, I roll people like you, okay? Because those inquiries are not making a big deal, especially when you already have a shitty score. It's only causing you maybe 2 or 4 points difference, okay? Relax. It's totally okay. Finally, we're going to talk about your credit age. That is important, especially for all of you I'm going to pay it off early people, okay? When you get into a loan or any type of financial agreement, any type of financial term agreement. Term agreements mean you're making payments, essentially. So what that means is there's a time period that you're expected to pay. Now, that's to your benefit, yes, but it's also to the lender's benefit, because that's how they track what their receivables are. They can make projections so that they can continue to loan money to other people, okay? So when you pay things off early, that shortens the age of your loan or that contract. So what that does is shorten the limits. It shortens the time periods that you put on the accounts that you have. So if you're asking for a 10-year loan, or maybe 20, 30-year loan if you want a mortgage, but all of your previous accounts have been open and closed in 2 or 3 years or less, then the age of your credit is going to probably have what's considered a failing score. Poor, low, fair, bad, however your credit system rates it. But generally, you want your credit age to have a little bit of spice, okay? So if you get into a long-term loan, like a student loan, a mortgage, something like that, most of the time you're going to have to stick with that long-term because the amount is so much. But sometimes if you get a car, or maybe you got like a personal loan or something like that, and you want to pay it off early because you got your taxes or whatever, that's perfectly fine to do, especially if it's going to save you money and interest. Just bear in mind that you don't want a bunch of accounts opened and closed in less than 3 years. I'm just going to say 3 years is a safe period of time. Okay? Other than that, pay off what you can, obviously, because interest is expensive and it's just giving money, away to the bank. And we've thanked them enough, so we don't need to do that. And then finally, their 10% is your credit mix. It's kind of like the garnish, right? It doesn't really make the drink taste any different, but it does make everything look different and makes it more appealing. And the credit mix is your appeal. It's what makes you appeal to another lender. So if you're going to buy a home, or you want a loan to start a business, or for your business that already exists, they're going to be looking at credit mix and debt to income ratio more than anything. It doesn't even matter what your score is. You can have a 750 and still not have a good credit mix, because you might have, one solid thing on your credit report. That's very, very possible. A credit mix is basically what your credit consists of. Is there a mortgage loan on there? Is there a car loan on there? Is there multiple credit cards on there? And if so, how does this customer treat those mix of accounts? Do they only pay the credit cards on time? Do they only pay the mortgage on time? Do they let the things with the lower interest or the lower penalties bounce so that they can keep the other things current? Do they keep everything current? That's what credit mix is. It's your opportunity to kind of show at a glance what all your credit consists of. A good credit mix has all 5 factors reporting regularly and positively. Okay, so if you're only paying on a vehicle, you don't have all 5 factors because you don't have debt utilization. If you're not paying if you only have maybe like a self card or a Chime credit card or something like that, then that means you probably don't have any inquiries, you don't have any age on that account. The only payment history you have is the history that belongs to that card. So again, you want to make sure you have a nice credit mix to make sure that all of those factors are reporting, so that not only do you have a nice drink, you have a drink with the right ingredients, the right amount of each ingredient to have an excellent drink. Same thing with your score. You want to have the right amount of ingredients, the right ingredients, to make sure that the score is excellent. Now, everybody out there that made you a drink, go ahead and take you a sip. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. I love you guys so much. If you need anything at all, visit me at gtccredit.com, gtccredit.com. Our phone number is there. You can text, you can call, you can email, you can sign up for our programs. Anything that you need is available, gtccredit.com. Love you guys. Hold it down.